My name is Norman Turner. I am 78 years old. For most of my life, people would say I did well. I worked hard, I made smart decisions, and over time, I made millions. I was able to retire comfortably. No financial stress, no urgent deadlines anymore. From the outside, it looks like a good ending. But there's something I didn't understand back then. Something I only learned after everything slowed down. And by the time I finally saw it clearly, it was already too late. If you are watching this and thinking, this doesn't sound like me, I used to think that too. I told myself I was doing what I was supposed to do, working hard, providing, building something for the future. I kept saying, once things settle down, I'll slow down. Once I'm more secure, I'll have time. I believed I was being responsible. I believed I was making the right trade. But I didn't realize something back then. Life doesn't pause while you're getting ready. I know this now because I was once exactly where you might be today. I was in my early 30s, young, hungry, certain that hard work would solve almost everything. I wasn't chasing luxury back then. I just wanted stability, a good life, something I could be proud of. I had a young family, a small house, big plans. Every decision I made felt reasonable. Stay late, say yes to more responsibility, push a little harder. I told myself I was building a foundation, that the long hours were temporary, that once things were set, I would finally slow down. At the time, it didn't feel like a sacrifice, it felt like commitment. And honestly, I believed I was doing the right thing. At some point, I started telling myself the same thing over and over. Not now, later. I didn't say it out loud, I just thought it. I told myself I was busy for good reasons, that what I was doing mattered, that I'd have time once things settled down. Whenever something new came up, I handled it, stayed a little longer, took on a little more. None of it felt wrong. It felt normal. I wasn't choosing work over family. That's how I saw it. I thought I was just getting through a demanding phase, that it would pass. What I didn't notice, it was how that phase kept extending itself. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into years. I kept thinking I was postponing things, not giving them up. Looking back, I didn't lose time all at once. I lost it in pieces while telling myself I still had plenty left. There's a moment I still think about. It wasn't important at the time. At least, I didn't think it was. I was working at home, focused on something I thought couldn't wait. One of my kids came into the room. They were holding something they wanted to show me. I didn't look up. I just said, "Give me a minute." They stood there for a few seconds. Then they left. I don't remember what I was working on. I don't remember why it felt so urgent. What I do remember is how normal that moment felt. That's the part that bothers me now. Nothing went wrong that day. There was no argument, no raised voices. I just wasn't available. Over time, moments like that added up, not all at once, slowly. I didn't lose my family in a single mistake. I lost connection by being absent in small, ordinary ways. Back then, I thought time was flexible, that I could always show up later. I know now that later doesn't work that way. Over time, the work paid off. Things became stable. Money stopped being a problem. I was around more than before, but that didn't mean I was needed more. There was a day one of my children was injured at school. An accident, serious enough that they were taken to the hospital. I didn't get the first call. The school contacted their mother. She was already on her way by the time I heard. When I arrived later, everything was calm. The doctors had explained things. The paperwork was done. Someone told me what happened, then thanked me for coming. I remember standing there, realizing I wasn't there to decide anything. I wasn't pushed aside. I just wasn't the person they reached for. That was when I started to see it. Life had learned how to move without waiting for me. I'm 78 now. I have time. What surprised me was how little of it anyone needed. I'm still included. I still get calls. But they're not calls asking what I think. They're updates. I hear about decisions after they've already been made. Not because anyone is hiding things from me, and not because they don't care. People are polite, respectful. They say things like, "We already handled it," or "We didn't want to trouble you." I know what they mean. What I didn't realize was when my opinion stopped being part of the process. There was no argument, no moment where I was pushed aside. It just became easier to decide things without me. And one day I understood something clearly. I hadn't lost my family. I had lost my influence in the moments that shape everyday life. That's what I learned too late. Not suddenly, quietly. I don't think success is a bad thing. Working hard isn't a mistake. Wanting security isn't wrong. What I misunderstood was believing those things could come first without costing anything else. I thought life would wait until I was ready, until I had more time, until I felt settled. It doesn't work that way. The things that matter most don't announce themselves as urgent. They show up quietly, in ordinary moments, and they don't stay forever. I learned that presence isn't something you add later. It's something you practice while everything else is happening. Money can solve practical problems. It can't replace shared time, and it can't rebuild years that were missed. That's the lesson I didn't understand soon enough. Not because I wasn't smart enough, but because I was focused on the wrong measurements. If there's one reason I'm telling you this, it's not to make you feel bad. It's to remind you that you still have choices. If you're busy right now, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're human. But if you keep telling yourself that you'll be present later, it might be worth stopping for a moment and asking what later really means. I believed I had time, and for a while I did. I just didn't use it the way I thought I would. If you can, close the laptop tonight. Sit with the people you care about. Be there, even if nothing special is happening. Those ordinary moments matter more than they seem. If this story made you think about something, you can leave a comment and share what stood out to you. And if you want to hear more stories about lessons learned the hard way, you're welcome to subscribe. Thank you for listening. Take care of your time. You don't get it back.